All right, today I'm going to teach you how to install an outlet. This outlet's old and it's the wrong color and it flickers, or when you plug things into it, it doesn't make a good connection. So I'm just going to get rid of it, install a new one. So the tools I have: screwdriver, Phillips, pair of pliers, drill, because I don't want to use the Phillips, and a voltage tester, but I already shut the outlet off. I shut the breaker off, so I know that is dead, and I checked it, so we're good with that. Most important thing, you cannot work on something live. You're looking for trouble. So first thing you do, take your screwdriver, put it in the screw, turn it to the left. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. It's a good thing to remember. I put my drill on here. So what holds this plug in is this screw at the bottom and the screw at the top, and that's it. So I'm using this instead of a Phillips. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. And that takes this right out. Okay, so the first thing I see here, this wasn't even installed properly. I don't know if you can see that, but the wires should be wrapped around those screws. Look at the ground. They're just stuck in there and tightened down. It's really very poor. I'm surprised it even passed inspection, but I'm going to show you how to install it properly. All right, so the first thing I want to do, anytime you take an outlet apart, you always start with the hot wire, which is the black wire. Actually, and that just comes right out. You can see that was barely in there. And look at that, the ground fell out, which is really scary. But you always want to take the ground off last, because you always want the outlet to be grounded to the very end. Okay, so now you got your three wires. You got your white, which is neutral, your black, which is hot, and your ground. Okay, so this is the new outlet, and you're probably wondering what wire goes to what screw. So the black wire, or the hot wire, goes to the brass-colored screws, the darker screws, and then if you go flip it around, the silver screws is what the neutral or the white wire connects to, and the green is for your ground. Okay, so what you want to do here is you take your wires, because you don't want them straight in like you just saw them, and we're going to make little C's, or like little candy canes, and you're just going to bend them just like this. See that? See how that looks? And you're going to do that to each one. Grab the very tip of it and you just roll it. This wire's a little messed up. And then your ground, you want to do the same thing on that guy. All right, so you kind of want to make these like little candy canes. And you can kind of see how they all are. They're like that. And what the cool thing about that is when you put them on, look at, they grab right on. So you want to put them on clockwise, because when you tighten up the screw, it's going to kind of suck the wire into it, and it's going to give it a really, really good connection. And then you put your neutral on. See how nice, look how nice that grabs in there. It just grabs right in there. And then I use my thumb to kind of keep pressure on it while I'm tightening it up. Now, when you buy new plugs, the screws are usually out, so I like to push them in. There's no reason to have them out. And then we're going to put the black wire on the brass screw. You don't have to tighten them super tight, but you just want to make them snug. And the same thing with this wire. Tighten them up nice here. Okay, so everything's on, as you can see. So the problem here is, what I'm seeing is this box inside the sheetrock is recessed a little, maybe by like 1/4 of an inch. And if you screw this all the way to the box, the outlet is going to be in the wall a little. And then when you put the plate on it, it's going to put a tremendous amount of stress on the plate. And the outlet's going to be kind of sunk into the wall. So what you do, you got these little ears right here on the top and the bottom. And just bend these back just want to bend them back a little. Not a lot. You can see how they're all bent. So what happens is when I screw this back in here, those little airs are going to hit this plastic box here. And that is going to support the outlet and not the outlet cover. Because most outlet covers are plastic, and if you try to screw them in, and they'll eventually break. So I don't go all the way in with the first one. I just kind of go in just a little. You want to get them lined up. Just like that. So it's already grabbing. I can see how the little airs are bending, and that's good. Now that is nice and flush with the wall. These little airs are grabbing onto the box. And look at this. That is rock solid right there. So if I put my plate on, okay, so it's still off just a hair. It's floating on top of the wall just a little. I'm going to go just a little deeper in. Oh, and that sits, oh, that's butter. So then you take your little 632 screw. You just kind of put it in here. You grab your screwdriver. So this is for a screwdriver. And you never want to go too tight because you'll always crack a plastic plate if you go really tight. In this screw right here, I always face them up and down. I just think aesthetically they look really nice. Especially if you have a bunch of switches and an outlet on the wall and these screws are all going every which way. It doesn't look so good. All right, now you grab your voltmeter, and if I did everything right, I should get a reading of about 120. And yeah, that's 0. Can you see it? Yeah, 0. And I'm thinking, what did I do wrong? You know what? I forgot to turn the breaker back on. So you got to do that. And there it is, 122.3, which is a little better than 120, which most people have. So I'm just saying, the more you know.